So that was.
That's it, Garrett. Nice job. Keep it up. Moonwalk if you know how. Let's say, is it Sam? Could it be Sam? Oh, it's John.
That might be a little.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's
No,
John.
I am John.
Oh, shot in the stove, eh?
Oh, so it's John today, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Hold down.
Oh, it's Olivia! Go, Liv! Go, Liv! Yeah. Goss! Guess what? Blaming your crazy, Liv. Go.
You're at the first and this food to eat, and I'll just have the rest.
Just showing you your short.
Where's he? Oh, yeah.
He's behind the stove. He's behind the stove.
Why are you so far behind the crowd?
Oh, that's right. That's a good book for you. Here we go. 15 days on the year for now.
Oh, Garrett.
Yes.
Such a fun day.
You know, is there replacements on
Oh
whichever?
my God.
What?
Is there replacements on whichever is in here?
No one replaces my son.
Wait, you did it? Huh? What? You did it, huh?
Look, I will not see my son until another month.
Okay. Wait,
Month?
Half a month, yeah.
Do we need to print them out?
Man, maybe we should look into some like,
We're reading.
maybe you should get some custody layer.
What?
Custody layer. It's my son, I have to make it.
Say, that was just like, until you got.
Yeah, it's been, you know.
Yes.
I wish we had. Wish we had.
I know, I'm really
Does anyone know what we get for homework?
No, it's just stove.
Yeah, does anyone? I'm telling them I don't get
Garrett, you know what homework we get?
No.
They killed the cat. No one ate it. How would eat it?
Not really.
Recording.
Yeah, all we do is.
Sophia, you're being recorded.
This thing is recording.
Oh, what are you guys talking about?
On in 1080p.
Alright, you're up. She's
You
gonna
know,
have a year up.
Eat the,
Oh, I don't really care.
eat the cotton.
You can do that if you want to.
24/8?
Wait, were you in front of the camera?
Yeah, it's standing right.
Yeah, 24. I haven't played that in so long. I remember like playing.
I don't play one. I suck at it.
I'm like, oh, I'm doing something about it.
Yeah.
I remember I got 49 too.
I remember I got 23 years. Fast, 8th grade. Part of the best. How is everyone?
Good.
All right, so I have a little show and tell for you.
Target.
Did I tell you about my Christmas gift?
Oh, yes, yes. About the big thing, the snow globe.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, see, so you know in my family, we give away well, we started this. It has to be something weird, unusual, and that you look at and you go, ooh. Kind of like, what in the world? That should be the thought running through your head when you open your gift at Christmas. Which was the thought with my snow globe. That was awesome. I knew I would be on the search. We already exchanged names at Christmas. I have my brother-in-law this weekend. I was at an auction and I found the gift. It beats my snow globe even. In this, I have to give you a preface first. It's right here. In the 60s, people used to make toilet paper covers so that they could leave them out like on the back of the toilet and it'd be decorative. And then, if you needed an extra roll, you'd be like, take it out. And what they would do is they would make these dolls. I guess they would take these dolls and they would do a cover for the toilet paper. They would often crochet it so it looked like her skirt. So they would have the doll sticking out. And then so you'd stick this, I know it's weird, that's what they did. Actually, I was telling Mrs. Shear, and she said, oh, my grandmother had one of these. I know, they did it. But this was not crocheted. This is a toilet paper cover made out of fake fur, like you would use up for a stuffed animal, if you were gonna sew a stuffed animal, and it's long, fake fur, and it's gloriously hideous. And the doll comes with the doll and the toilet paper still in it. The doll has fake, instead of like doll hair, it has fake fur, fake black fur hair, and her eyes are really creepy. And I didn't realize until I took this out earlier that the one that I got doesn't have any arms. So she only adds to its creep level. But I only paid $1 for it, and I'm pretty sure everybody at the auction was like, why is she bidding on that? You ready for the unveiling? Yeah. I had to glue her head back on because it's falling off. Oh my. I have to fix it so she stands up a little more. Wouldn't this look nice on the back of the toilet?
Yeah, that's not what I was
Look at her eyes. And here's, they used to make toilet paper in colors. I forgot that until I saw this. Green toilet paper. You could buy green, blue, yellow, pink, like all pastel colors, because that adds to the decoration in your bathroom. Along with this. And I told Mrs. Sherry, the thing is, yes, green toilet paper might add to your decoration, but what color is your bathroom if you're going to use green toilet paper and have this sitting out on the back of your toilet? I always have to feel like I have to wash my hands after touching it. What do you think? I told Ronnie sits here, I go, Ronnie, I'm just going to leave this right here. He goes, I'm already going to have nightmares. Ronnie says, look at this. Can you imagine my brother-in-law? No arms, but beautiful nonetheless, right? So now, unfortunately, you won't be here next year once I'm able to give this to him at Christmas. At first, it was like down like this, and it looked really good. Anyway, you'll just have to see me some year and go, Sean, did you ever get that present? Uh-oh, the head just fell off. You have to read
What if you just flipped the head off?
Oh. Sorry, dear. I put the glue in the right spot, evidently. So I really do want to wash my hands. Why? Why would somebody think that'd be pretty? Seriously, and they probably gave it as a gift to somebody, like as a night, oh, look what I made you. Oh, thanks, girl. I'm guessing it was a grandma. Grandmas think those things are kind of cool. All right. So if you see me after Christmas next year, or this coming year, 8 months from now, you can check on me, see how my brother-in-law liked it. I do think it's sellable. I bet I could put it on eBay and get money. Or maybe like a movie company, like people who want to put stuff like that in a scene, like on somebody's back of their toilet, like from the 60s. Could be useful that way too. My guess is my brother-in-law will put it out anyway on his own toilet. Just to freak people out. Oh, I don't need this. What am I doing? All right, take out your books. Oh, made me laugh. Don't you think it's the... Go get it. Don't ever assume anything.
Well, you had said that we didn't need to bring that out.
I did, you're right. But I realized, why did, I was looking at my schedule of stuff, I was like, why did I give them so much time?
I gotta say, like, you said April 7th or something, I'm like.
I know, it's way too much time, but it's still due then, but this gives you time to still look it over one last time. If you have a printer at home, you can get it printed and brought in though, so that it's turned in on that date, okay? And if not, you have to submit it to me, probably by the day before, so I can print it. If you have a printer at home, you have, part of your assignment is to go back over your essay to make sure that, I mean, you should have it all typed, right? You should have typed it yesterday. You might have seen it. Anyway, you should have your essay finished. This gives you a chance, probably on Tuesday, you'll have a little more chance to just go over it, but if you have a printer at home, you can look it over. And, you know, if you're bored over break, look it over and then you can print it out. If you don't have a printer, you will have to email it to me. Yeah, okay.
Do we get Monday off?
Yes. Yes. No school Monday. You know, the teachers have to be here tomorrow, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have professional development day. And renew our CPR, which is good. I always feel like I just did it. Like, didn't we just do that like last year? I'm like, no, it was the year before. We have to do it every 2 years. CPR, and we're gonna have something about the yearbook. All right, page. What page? Did I have first or book? I don't even know. I left my plan book again there. Oh, 31. Sorry. So page 182. Vocab. Our first vocab word is hedonism. It says it derives its meaning from a Greek word meaning pleasure. It says hedonism is the theory that pleasure is the highest good. And then it says, driven by hedonism, Ms. Fling spent each day at amusement parks, gourmet restaurants, and movie theaters. All right. It is also, that paints it in a more positive view. It actually kind of has a negative view in a way, because it's one of the things I believe that Paul went to preach against in one of the Greek cities. It might have been Corinth or something like that, but because the view of hedonism is, it's the modern take on it is whatever is good for you is good. So a lot of sins, obviously. And that was kind of what they went by in like the early Greek culture. They did a lot of sinning, but you know, made them feel good. So that's what they went by. That was hedonism. Okay. This makes it sound like it is kind of selfish though, what she does, but it's all what she likes without thinking of others. But maybe she's still looking out for people. In the Iliad, and he was the oldest and wisest of the Greek warriors at Troy. Thus, if you call somebody a Nestor, you mean they're a leader in his or her field. Okay, so the Nestor of the Supreme Court happened to be the Chief Justice, the leader in that field. Okay, not like a farmer in the field. That was kind of a joke. Okay, where were you for me, Kate? I'm missing it. I know, you let me down. listen, what are these? Why is there all this open here? Like right here?
We're missing Trevor and Lacey.
And then there's just an extra two, I think.
Oh. Oh. Does somebody sit by you, Ellie? Oh, so you're not back there by yourself normally? Right.
Well, this is the first time
Week.
we've been in these,
Oh, like today is the first time you're in these spots?
well, yesterday was,
Yeah.
Trevor and Lacey weren't here.
Oh, all right. I just feel like there's like this great divide. You two are stuck over there. You're here all by yourself. You're the nester of this row. I don't know if that's the real use of it, but you do. All right, so highlighter. Even though some stuff that is highlighted in here, we have more to highlight. So please take out your golden pen and jewelry. Go get it. Everybody gonna have a nice break? You're gonna do something? Question, here, look, put your hand down. How many of you still in your families, maybe still get an Easter basket? Yes. I don't think they're too old. I would love it if I went home and I had an Easter basket. All right, second question. How many of you still help dye eggs?
We haven't done that.
It could be, a lot of you, could be because if you have younger siblings, and some of you maybe just because, it's just, I wish I still did. I love that part of Easter dyeing. I did not. Yesterday I capped my whiteboard pen onto my scarf. I was like putting it together and then it was like, okay. Anyway, I did not like the smell of vinegar with it, but I just love, what? For the dyeing part, I mean, I like vinegar. I mean, I like sour stuff, but anyway, dyeing eggs was always fun. We used to like color them with crayons, so they would do that resist, you know, like, well, especially like with a white crayon, or sometimes we would use candles, which were practically clear. You couldn't really see what you were doing. Like if you used a white candle, anything to get wax on it. So who in their family helped dye eggs this year? Anybody? Yay! Well, you have little siblings, so maybe that's, I hope,
Yeah, we do it like this.
and what? Oh, fun. How many of you in your house still, and it could be because of siblings, little siblings, hide eggs? You do an Easter egg hunt
Well,
at
we
your
go to
house.
my grandparents' house.
Or at your grandparents' house.
Oh, yeah.
Do you hide real eggs? Anybody hide real eggs? You do?
Yeah.
Anybody, and the rest of you hide plastic eggs? Do you have a limit? Because sometimes people do like,
No.
you don't have a limit? Do you have stuff in them like money
Yeah, at my,
or just treats?
at my grandparents' house.
Yeah, at my grandma's house we use fake ones. Then there's money in them, so.
Yeah, my grandparents' house would have a limit. They hide like 200 though, because there's a lot of us. There's the 3 kids from mine. There's 7 of us.
200 eggs?
Yeah.
So
there's
how
a
many would
lot.
you, just tell me, how many would you get about a piece? 10, 20?
Yeah, around there. Because there's like 7 of us, and sometimes even 9. Because 2 of my cousins live in California, so they don't come out all the time.
Oh my goodness. It's nice when you get older and they stop giving you candy and start giving you stuff.
At my grandma's house, our names are written on them, so since there's a lot of little kids, so our names are written on them. So
Oh, see, I've heard it where everybody gets a color, and you can only pick up a certain color egg. And I've heard it where you can only get one of each color. And it was, I'm trying to think, one of the other class, I can't think who it was now, said that they were at their grandfather's house, and the little sister said, "Can we find eggs?" My grandpa's like, "Yeah, sure." So he put together like these plastic eggs. He goes, "I got $18." I said, "You should convince your sister every time you go to Grandma, Grandma, can we do an Easter egg?" Because they did it like a week ago. It wasn't even Easter. So anyway. I can't think who it was. So anybody traveling for Easter? Where are you going?
Well, I guess you can say traveling. I do a basketball tournament Saturday, Sunday.
Where do you go?
I believe it's somewhere in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, that Indian man. Nice. What about you?
I'm going to my grandparents' house.
And they live Aurora or?
help out.
Don't they live south?
No, they live in Illinois. They're about an hour and 45 minutes away.
And how long will you be there? Is it just a day or?
Oh, we're going there
Overnight.
Friday and leaving Sunday.
Nice. Tennessee?
No,
Oh.
my mom's staying there with her family.
Oh,
We're going to Tijuana for mom's side,
okay.
his side. Like,
And you have cousins?
I have 17 cousins on that side.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Anybody else? It's like this half of the room is staying home. Is that it?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go to my grandma's house, but it's like 15 minutes. So.
All right. Are you having ham?
Yeah.
That's like a big Easter meal. Anybody, the rest of you don't even know what you're having. Right?
Don't know.
But we have family discussions about it.
We usually have peanut on.
Do you? All right, don't forget leftover peeps if you're not a fan. This girl likes them. Or those chocolate covered marshmallows. Those eggs, the chocolate covered marshmallows. You probably all like those too. So. Who is a fan of peeps? Who hates peeps?
Kind of reminds me of like the circus peanuts.
Oh, they're not even close to circus
No,
peanuts.
the texture, not the taste.
Oh, I hate circus peanuts.
My grandpa likes it, but I couldn't do.
Who likes circus peanuts?
No, but I
They're disgusting.
They're like weird.
Like,
They're supposed to be marshmallowy, but
they're
they're like,
like they're hard.
they're,
Sometimes. Like,
yeah. All right, sorry, let's go to this now. Red, golden pen of joy. See what happens when you have to run to your locker? It's a talk, yeah. All right, so punctuation helps the reader to understand the meaning of what is written. A period helps the reader to know where a sentence begins and ends, but there are other uses for the period as well. But first of all, you should check your essay and make sure you have used the period at the end of your sentences, unless it's exclamatory or a question. Yes. Like all these other people left to go get one. Go. All right, highlight. Well, this is not highlighted yet, so highlight. A declarative sentence statement needs a period at the end. To me, that's kind of like boo, but we're going to highlight it for people who don't get that yet. All right, the people of, oh, and then highlight the period at the end. The people of New Hampshire greatly love John Langdon, period. Highlight that period. An imperative sentence, remember a command, needs a period at the end. Act now against British authority. Highlight the period at the end. So highlight the sentence that says an imperative, blah, blah, blah. And then the period at the end. But don't highlight the example sentence. Understand? Just the period at the end. Initials. We place periods after the initials in a person's name. Highlight that. And then highlight the 4 periods after the initials in the examples. M.E. Bradford, so M period, E period, and then B. D. Pistoli. I'm guessing that's how you say it. I'm not sure. All right, and then next part, in an outline. Highlight that. In an outline, letters and numbers require a period after them. So highlight the period after the Roman numeral 1, the period after the A, the B, and the C. Okay? Now, we've already talked about that because I made you make sure you had periods when we talked about capitalizing the Roman numeral and the letter A, B, and C. So hopefully that you already remember. Look at the example, which says add periods where they're needed in each expression. Could somebody tell me what's wrong besides the periods? What's wrong with that outline? First person gets a treat. Whoever can tell me. Look at it, observe it. Kate?
like on like the top of it, the like heading for it, not all the words are capitalized.
No, and then remember, you don't capitalize all the words in an outline, only the first word. Federalist is just capitalized because it's proper. There's something else wrong. Observe. Who has good observation skills? Could you be a detective? Kate?
Well, for A and C, they're the same thing.
Yes, you guys took a lot less time than the other class. A and C, I have no idea why, but they're exactly the same. Let me get a treat. Watch the camera. Isn't that weird? I have no idea why they did that. Why? Was somebody like typing and they forgot what they were doing and they just put regulation of commerce twice? A and C are exactly the same. All right, good job. You could be a detective. Got the skills. All right, so we need periods after the Roman numeral, the A, B, and C. You don't put periods at the end of an outline, right? Letter B, capture the infidels. Everybody know what an infidel is? Ooh, yay.
Like a rebel or insurrection.
It is, a rebel, like they go against the country or something, they're the infidels. And that needs a period. Okay? The next one is just a declarative sentence. John Langdon was a member of the committee that made compromise possible and the Constitution acceptable, period. All right? Oh, yeah. And then the last example, which is letter D, mine's at the top of the page. I don't know where this is. According to L.A. Mayo, J. Langdon spoke vehemently about restricting interstate tariffs. So we need periods after the initials of the person, L and A, and then the J, and also a period at the end, because it's declared. All right. So let's go to the paragraph called abbreviations. And John, would you read it, please?
Sometimes we shorten words by abbreviating them. Abbreviations often require periods, but not always. Because there are so many abbreviations, and because some abbreviations are used for more than one word, we check our dictionaries. Below are some common abbreviations that require periods. While it is important to become familiar with these, we do not generally use abbreviations in formal writing. When in doubt, spell it out.
So you should already have it highlighted that we do not generally use abbreviations in formal writing. If not, highlight that. But I'm not sure if you have the next part highlighted. Highlight the next part that says, when in doubt, spell it out. In your assignment, they're going to say something like, rewrite these sentences according to like using formal, like if you're using formal writing. So they might use the word, like what's something you abbreviate? Like government or something. Like you could abbreviate government as gov, G-O-V. And so what if they have G-O-V, no period? And you're like, oh, all I got to do is add a period. Nope, you'd be wrong. Because in formal writing, you would write out government. You would not abbreviate it. That's kind of the rule. Something you can, I hope you didn't use that in your essays. We're going to get to the ones where you can still use abbreviations in formal writing, but for most words that are actual, like regular words in a sentence, you know, you don't abbreviate those in a sentence. Okay? So keep that in mind that if it's looking for formal writing, a lot of times you have to write them out. So let's take a look at these though. Time of day, like AM and PM, stands for antemeridiem. I think, I don't know how to say that. I should probably look it up. It looks like meridium, maybe meridium. Yeah, meridium. I'm just gonna go with that. That's what it is. So A period, M period, both lowercase, P period, M period. Days of the week, look at the abbreviations. Again, if you're gonna say in a sentence, like next Sunday we're going to my grandmother's, you wouldn't abbreviate it in formal writing. Okay, but there are times you can, like in note taking or things like that, these are the abbreviations. Notice they're capitalized, and most of them have a period after the first part of the word that comes before the word day, except for Wednesday and Saturday. The rest of them are all before day, okay? Months of the year also are things in a sentence in formal writing you would write out, okay? Notice May, June, and these go on to the next page, weirdly. July are not abbreviated. They're already only 4 letters, or three or four letters. We don't abbreviate that. Like you don't have May like Ma 13 or whatever, okay? And most of those are just the first 3 letters except September. Is that right? The rest of them all the first 3? Yeah. September is the only one that's not the first 3. Proper place names, like street names, like drive, street, place, mountain, road, avenue, boulevard, and building. If you don't know the abbreviations and they ask you to write it as an abbreviation, make sure you look them up. And because our books are older, they're not thinking like you guys might have access to the internet. You can always Google, like, what's the abbreviation for? Or how do you spell? Like, let's say you see the abbreviation boulevard and you're like, I don't know how to spell boulevard. You can always Google that or look back, obviously, on this page. But, okay. Personal titles like Mr., Mrs., and Ms. Are abbreviated, but you'll notice on the right, they kind of interrupted it. Miss, capital M-I-S-S, is not an abbreviation. Don't put a period after it. Okay. And they specify when do you use Mrs. That means a married woman. And then Ms. is for any woman. married or not, okay? And then they give junior, senior, doctor, reverend, professor, president, general, captain, senator, representative, blah, blah, blah. Okay? If it's used as part of their title, I believe you can still abbreviate it. All right? But if you just say, Bob Smith is my representative, you could not abbreviate that. Okay? Compass directions, north, south, east, west, are capitalized with a period. Northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest are also capital letters, but with two periods, one for each letter. All right? And here's what they call others. These are just like the leftovers, like company, limited, incorporated, government of GOVT, they use my bad, department, etc., estimated, continued, anonymous, and miscellaneous. Again, not in formal writing would you use probably the last four, etc. I don't think you probably rarely see that written out in formal writing, right? Etc. is just, you can use that. All right. All right, so I'm going to skip the example thing, but look at the top of 185. We're going to do a little more highlighting. And it says, in most of our writing, we spell out entire words and do not abbreviate. However, this is where you have to know. There are times you can use them. So highlight, we use the following abbreviations, even in formal writing. And then we're going to highlight all four of those things below it. So the first one, even in formal writing, you can use the personal titles, Mr., Mrs., Junior, PhD, etc. All right, so even if in your assignment, if they say rewrite these in formal writing, these can stay abbreviated. Or anything that's a personal title, which would include, let's see, on the other one, doctor, president, professor, any other degrees, BA degree, whatever, okay? Captain, you could still abbreviate that. Those are acceptable if it's part of a personal title. Second part, abbreviations that are part of an organization's legal name, such as incorporated, company, limited. Those are part of a company's name. They're legal. They can stay abbreviated, okay? The third one, abbreviations used in expressions of time, such as AM and PM. Do you really see, like, I'm going to school at 8 o'clock antemeridian. You don't see antemeridian written out. You'll see that, so that's acceptable. EST, all three letters, no period, for Eastern Standard Time. You can still use in formal writing. And the last one, a few others such as BC and AD. I could have them with mine. At this point, most of mine were not assignment, that they couldn't, before I had that they could turn it in on there, but I don't do that anymore. So most of mine were, I think I have everything anyway. I'm proud of. So BC, AD, BC, meaning before Christ, which you'll notice in your social studies books, they are now getting away from because nobody wants to recognize that Christ lived. Isn't it funny that our whole time system was based on the birth of Christ, though? And the years that he lived, Anno Domini, that's what the AD means. That's the year, it means the year of our Lord. They got rid of that. What do they use now in your social studies?
I think they still use AD.
It's like CE or something.
CE, Common Era, and BCE, before Common Era. They got Christ out of our time. Can't take them away from
The people
real.
that use CE is pre-era. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't think we could call it that. It's not going to work.
Christ's era.
Yeah, but it stands for Common Era. They tried to do something, to make it like not so different. But Anyway, it's sad. That's what they had to do. All right, so let's take a look at the examples, which say, notice in the end, this is what your assignment might show up like. Rewrite the following sentences using whole words instead of abbreviations that are not appropriate in formal writing. Otherwise, you can keep them. So Mrs. Bartolo weighed 120 pounds at the doctor's office. The only thing, you can keep Mrs., you don't have to write that out, but you have to change pounds into a word in formal writing. You can't keep it in abbreviation. Look at the next one. Michael Newkirk, DDS, extracted 4 wisdom teeth from the president of Spare Parts Limited in December. So here's the parts you can keep. You can keep DDS, that's his degree, Doctor of Dental Science, in case you didn't know. President, you have to write out because it's not part of a title. Limited, LTD, you can keep. Also, by the way, do you notice the comma after limited? Usually you do that. I don't know why. And then December, you cannot keep. You have to write it out. In case this comes up, nobody asked me in the last class, but what if limited were the end of the sentence? Would you use 1 period or 2 periods?
One.
It is just 1. An abbreviated period and the period of the sentence can be one and the same. Okay? And in the last one, in 49 BC, Cleopatra was 20 years old. We keep BC, but we have to write out years. We can't abbreviate there. All right? Are there questions? So here's what you're going to do for your homework. You're going to do practice 31. Please label it as 31. You can't just label it as practice. It's a lot of rewriting. You need to use cursive, except for Roman numerals and the letters in the outline. And it just says rewrite and add periods as needed in A through F. They're not telling you this is formal writing here. All right, you're just going to rewrite those and add. Don't change stuff to abbreviations either. It's already there. However, if you look at G through K, says rewrite each sentence, adding periods and making necessary changes to abbreviations for formal writing. Okay, there will be things you have to change from an abbreviation to a word. And then you'll just say L, you're just going to write the abbreviation for those words. M and N, you're going to use your vocab. And if you have not written your vocab definitions, that's also part of your assignment. Yes. Yes. Okay, you do need to use cursive. Make sure you use your whole heading correctly. And if you get done, you can go back to your essay and just look it over again. Still wait to send it. But every time you look at it, you might find new things. What's your question? The date is the 30th. Tomorrow's the last day of March. Start planning your April Fool jokes for your family. Does anybody do that? I have a friend whose family makes April Fool's Day food all the time. So you think it's like they're like, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I think they come to expect it now. So nobody. But the kids, when they were little kids, the kids would fall for it. But they just make fake food. It was pretty good.
One time I had the episode Easter was on April Fool's, and
that's the worst.
Yeah, and my mom had tricked us into eating like cake pops. Then when we bit into them, it was Brussels sprouts covered in chocolate.
Oh, she's so mean. Yeah. We have a cake pop. You probably didn't trust her for the longest time after that. Yeah. That's a good one though. I would tell my friend that. Her daughters are in college and out of the house now, but I think she probably still did trick food.
I wonder if I have vinegar at my house, because now I kind of want to like make eggs, but I pour vinegar on. Like
To make them rubber? Right, because you can turn like the shells. You soak them in them too long.
They'll like make scrambled eggs, but you know, you have to spray the stuff on the pan.
Ew, so you can make them taste horrible?
Yeah.
Don't you think that would smell though? And they'd be like, I'm not eating that, it stinks.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
have to get up pretty early, and then I have to just sit there fanning it out for a while, maybe for something.
Have I ever told you the April Fool's prank we played on my sister? Oh my gosh. My sister was the most gullible person. She still probably is. She would probably admit that. She was probably 6 or 7. So my brothers and I, who would have been 10, 11, and 12, we had evil minds. We decided to prank her because we had cereal every morning for breakfast. So my brothers took out the old typewriter. We didn't have any access to anything else. And they typed out this message that said, if your name is Kathy Shum and you live at 417 Ashland Avenue, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I mean, they had all these stipulations, and it's April 1st, 19 blah, 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 you have just won $1 million. And then they stuck it in the cereal box so that when she poured her cereal out, she would find it. We made sure it was like whatever one she was going to choose. And so it's morning, and my parents are still sleeping, and my sister pours that out and reads it and goes screeching upstairs to my parents, Mom, Dad, I just won $1 million. And my dad calmly says, I think somebody's pulling your leg. And then she had to come back upstairs, and we were dying. We're like, I can't believe she fell for that. It was so specific. If your name is Kathy Shum, and you live at Forest, like that would be in a random box of cereal that she got. Ah, we were mean. Don't be mean. Actually, that was just funny. She laughs about it now. She was like, seriously? I'd be like, who put this in? Plus it was on a typewriter. It was horrible. It didn't look professional. And it was on an index card that probably had lines on the other side. You want to hear my stories? Or... What letters does this go up to? not really just, I'm just gonna put this in. I think the restroom. So work like I'm here. Right? And roll. You, are you gonna type using that program? Yes, maybe the typing program. Thanks for checking. Can you see that? You missed 36. And if somebody wants, could somebody tell me about your artwork? What you're doing? What exactly are you doing?
The tape mural.
Tape mural, but what are the guidelines? What do you have to do?
It has to be like a 3D interactive, like.
Really?
Like where you like take a picture and it looks like you're like.
Oh, like, did she show you something like where they do the sidewalk? So it's like from an angle, it has to look like it has depth and. Oh, I love that.
No, we had to go really quickly because we didn't have enough time.
Oh, for the Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
Where's that?
The front wall is hitting.
Are you done?
Yeah, it
Oh.
just looks,
We're not.
we had to rush it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you didn't have all of these.
It's kind of a cool idea though. I like it.
We already used like 15 minutes, we already used.
Those people who do those 3D things, like, they look at it straight on, and look at anything, but then you look at it, and those are cool.
Yeah, the one my group
That's
did.
kind of like ours is, it doesn't
Yeah,
look
ours
good.
doesn't-
Who has the fit?
Oh, that's our group.
That is really cool.
So it doesn't really look like much like when you're looking straight at it, but if you move back by the hand
I agree,
sanitizer,
if you move back across the room, it looks like it has depth to it.
yeah, like the hand sanitizer stand, it actually looks.
Yeah, you did a good job. Yes,
Okay,
what?
okay,
She wants to type.
No. What?
okay.
Yes, don't translate. Speak up, child. Speak up. Don't make me have what three nothing.
They said about that.
You missed it.
Can I do that too, Michelle?
No. They're gonna quiz today, you're just trying to stay on top of them. You have a quiz today?
Yeah.
We have quizzes every second.
Really?
Quizzes every Tuesday class. Which one may I type?
You may say.
Michelle,
Yes, sir.
may I study social studies?
Yes, sir.
Michelle. Is there a present?
That's 33.
Joanna, are you typing? Put your Chromebook on the desk to type. That's not really good form to put it on your lap, so would you put it up on the, gel on the table and type that way, please? Absolutely. Feel free to cut off stuff you don't need. So that it was long. But it's- got about a minute. All right, stand up, stretch. You ready for yourself to finish this? Go, go. I'll come behind my chair. Oh. Those hanging wires.
They're doing an article about it, if you don't know.
All right, have a good Easter, you guys.
You too.
Thank you. Hello, how are you, Lyra?
Untitled Chapter. I don't know. There's still
Is it first 15 or first 10?
First time.
Alright, guess it's up. Ready?
No, wait.
Alright.
Okay, so the 15th president was James Buchanan.
I'm behind Bush on
The 12 is like Miller
13 is the
Okay, well then, yeah, it's the 15th. We have to now,
I'm looking to make sure.
Franklin Pierce.
Yeah, we do.
Franklin Pierce, Miller Fillmore.
I don't know them. I don't
Uh,
know the last 5. So.
Just think of this PTF
I
PTF
think,
peanut butter.
Think about
what I always,
PTF peanut butter.
Not.
no, what I always think of is
Tyler.
Tyler Poking Taylor and Fillmore Pearson Buchanan.
I just go by either the like this one is jam load
Jamwo.
and then it's PTF peanut butter.
Jamwo.
James PTF peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Right here.
Next
I'll name the first 15.
So think of how much Tyler Poke Taylor and Fillmore Pearson.
Those are not.
Yeah, I won't.
Here's gonna be smooth.
But it doesn't know.
Right here.
You have to know. 15. Yeah. I forgot about that.
James Knox Pope.
Taylor
Fillmore.
Right here. This is the first 15.
Fucking in.
I don't know,
Right.
I don't know what animals to draw. I'm gonna draw a wolf. Wolf.
Carolina, what
Yeah,
was
it's
he
no
on?
longer Joe Mullins.
Sleepy Joe.
479, where you at?
I'm on 479 too, I can't
I
get
did.
him.
Bayless, you playing soccer?
I'm not sure.
Ooh, you like.
I'm sorry, my parents.
Brand new ball?
Ooh.
Hi, Andy.
Look at.
Hold on, I'm the goalie. I need to test them.
Wait, let's try that.
I need to try it. It's not over.
It's the way it came that way. It's not.
It's not over.
Who's not playing it?
It's really nice.
Isn't that nice? You get
Yes.
Garrett's gonna play Sunshine.
Garrett's gonna play second goalie.
Sorry.
I forget you can have a undefeated.
Garrett's second goalie.
Yeah, Garrett can't kick it though. He
There's
always
only
kicks it to the
six
middle.
there's only 6 matches.
Yeah, as long as
No,
it's-
well, my,
you
still
gotta-
my.
Ethan, don't worry about that.
He's in.
Still will do right home.
Ethan, this is the last year.
It is. It doesn't have, this is the last.
That's what I said here. I said there's only 6 matches I can do forever. I was like, no.
Tell your walk home.
I look at 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Take out a blank piece of paper. Put away your Chromebooks. come later. Those games of skill and dexterity later. Unless it goes out very fast, they'll be very large. This is where Olivia Goss tells us, by the way, right on top of your paper, there's the Suez Canal. Olivia,
Yeah.
tell me everything you know about the Suez Canal.
I know there's a boat stuck in it.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Cave?
I don't know.
John Webb?
Egypt.
Whereabouts? Ironically enough,
How do you spell I guess.
it is, what? Take out blank piece of paper.
John, you really like Suez.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's Suez, S-U-E-Z Canal. Light, please. Hey, please.
Sam.
World trade is a big business.
How do you S-U-P.
This is how you spell it.
Between the two of you.
It's not that hard.
Where am I going?
I will stop this video at appropriate places because there's a very good chance we'll have some sort of a quiz over this.
Wait.
This is, we are, by the way, diverging from, I could have given you a big old, read a whole chapter of social studies. Remember that as we look at this video, Kate, you could be assigned a whole chapter of social studies with all those long questions that'll take you 6 hours, or you can focus on what we're gonna talk about today, which is current events.
Yeah.
The Suez Canal. It's good that you know something about the Suez Canal. Ready? I will stop this. I will give you, you don't have to come up with the facts, I will tell you the facts you need to know.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
Ready? Go.
Business. Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much is the economy after all.
This guy doesn't.
And thus,
Ready?
world trade is a big
It
business.
is a big difference.
Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much is the economy after all. And thus, situating yourself near a choke point between two major bodies of water, a la Singapore, can be a godsend to an area's local economy. However, if I were to ask most people which is the most important waterway in the world,
What is the most important waterway in the world?
Well,
It is not.
The Panama.
It's the Hoover Dam.
Well, maybe.
Well,
sure, some might answer the Straits of Malacca or the South China Sea, but for most, it would probably be a toss-up between the Panama and the Suez Canals. So in this video, we are going to be focusing on the history and the construction of the Suez Canal, the bigger and also much older of the two. Like, much older. Sponsored by Curiosity Stream. Click the link below to help out the channel. The Suez Canal, as it currently exists, is a 193 kilometer.
Right down 193 kilometers. By the way, how much is 193 kilometers in miles?
Times like 0.67.
John figured it out, but I don't have it in front of me. Do you not know?
John, you do have your paper right in front of you.
193 km.
You're cheating, Mr. Khan.
It is 120 miles. Let's just so you know.
Take off my phone.
Ready?
Artificial waterway connecting the Mediterranean Sea at Port Said to the Red Sea at Port Taufik. This waterway connects the Atlantic and
All right, so let me give you your bearings here. First of all, he's going to tell you it connects the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. But here, this is what we've been talking about. Here is Egypt. Here is the Nile River. What is this right here? We talked about this in religion. This is the land of no. Pharaoh gave the children of Israel this land. This is the land of Goshen. Remember when Joseph told Pharaoh, my family's coming, and Pharaoh said, take the best land in Egypt. That is this right here. It's the delta that goes to the Nile. That's why it's all green and everything else is all brown. This over here, well, this is the Sinai Peninsula. This is where God gave Abraham, or gave Moses the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. This is the promised land right here. This is what Israel and the Palestinians have been fighting over for a long, long time, and will be till the end of the But this is where the Suez Canal goes. It connects the Red Dead Sea here to the Mediterranean. And you'll see why it's important here in just a minute.
Indian Oceans in a way that doesn't require a ship heading between Europe and Asia to either go around Africa or to wait for the ice to melt in the Arctic.
Nobody laughed at that, so let's listen to that again.
Require a ship heading between Europe and Asia to either go around Africa or to wait for the ice to melt in the Arctic.
Funny.
Yeah, but
Oh my God, let me laugh.
To either go around Africa or to wait for the ice to melt in the Arctic.
Guys got a little sarcastic hint, so I like it. You gotta give it a break.
The canal also, unlike the Panama Canal, has no locks at all, making it much easier for some of the...
Right down there, the thing about the Suez is it has no locks. And Ethan will tell you a lock is,
He just asked
What is a lock?
Lily Faithful will tell you a lock is, and we're not talking about hair though. Because usually when you have canals, they go from, there's different, the land is different elevations and stuff. You have stop it, you fill something up with water, it can move on, stop it, you fill it up with water, it can move on. Because, well, I don't know why. But it just is.
World's largest ships to slip right through, and for the canal to be expanded, should the Egyptian government be in such a mood. This makes this little waterway between Africa and Asia one of the most revolutionary projects in the transportation world. With this canal, a ship traveling from, for example, Port Sudan to Antalya, Turkey, would only have to travel around 2,000 kilometers. Without the canal and going around Africa, this distance would be nearly 23,000 kilometers, meaning that by boat from Port Sudan, it would be a shorter distance to Samoa. So this canal is pretty big. The Suez Canal was first opened in 1869, or at least the Suez Canal as we know it today.
Date, first opened in 1869. How old was Lincoln?
He was dead.
He was dead, but not very long dead. His body would have been semi-warm, so.
You see, as tough as it may have been to build a canal of this scale, this canal was far from the first of its kind in the area, and even less so the first attempt. In fact, a canal of this sort was first attempted by Egypt in the 19th century, BC, under the rule of Middle Kingdom Pharaoh Senusret II, though do keep in mind that these records aren't exactly in the best condition, with some theorizing that it might have been under the rule of Ramses II.
Ramses II is, you don't have to write that down. Children of Israel time. They were under Ramses II.
Over 600 years later, which even by Egyptian standards is a pretty big range of time. Regardless, this canal was not located in the Sinai Peninsula, as is the current one. Rather, it was a canal between the Red Sea, which at this time extended much further north, and the Nile River. Logically, seeing as this was the heart of Egyptian civilization itself. Later canals in the area, likely even building upon the original, were constructed over 1,000 years later, with the only functional one of these being built under Darius I of Persia. A canal was reportedly later opened by the time of the Islamic caliphates between the Red Sea and Old Cairo, basically the pre-release version of Cairo itself. Though this canal was reportedly closed under order until after the 50s, Circle Africa in 1488. Circle Africa started going west to try to get to East Asia, and also after the Portuguese figured out how to encircle Africa in 1488. You see, that's the thing about the Suez Canal. A canal in Egypt isn't nearly as important to the Middle East as it is to Europe. Venice became a natural loser in this arena. That didn't mean they didn't pilgrimage to the line. The Ottoman Empire did hold Mecca for a long time. And also shelved. And also stopped building a canal in the 18th century. Expensive and also shelved. Napoleon then came to Egypt at the end of the 18th century, and also thought building a canal here would be a pretty good idea, and so decided to survey the land. However, their calculations told them that the Red Sea was about 10 meters higher than the Mediterranean, and so they also gave up. In the following decades, with Egypt now under the Muhammad Ali dynasty, again no relation, a railway was set up between Alexandria and Suez. But this wasn't exactly good enough for global trade, so guess what they thought of? That's right, another canal. After it was found that Napoleon's surveys got the height of the seas completely wrong, the canal's biggest sponsor became Frenchman Ferdinand de Lesseps. Initially, Muhammad Ali Pasha was not interested, but de Lesseps became a longtime friend with his son Muhammad Said Pasha, who eventually granted a special zone for the canal to be built, with the Suez Canal Company established in 1858, and the land given to said company on a 99-year lease, with 75% of the profits going to the company, 15% to Egypt, and 10% to their investors. Construction broke ground in 1859 and would take 10 years and a grand total of over 1.5 million workers throughout the decade, though usually 30,000 at a time, with thousands of worker deaths due to harsh conditions and various outbreaks, mainly cholera. After the two teams met in the middle at the Bitter Lakes, a huge opening ceremony was held on the canal on the 15th of November 1869, with banquets on Ismail Pasha's yacht and blessings with both Christian and Islamic ceremonies, even including a temporary church and mosque for the event. The area, seeing virtually immediate success, was declared in the Constantinople Convention to be an international zone under British protection. This would play a pivotal part in the world wars, and would also contribute to conflict between Britain and Egypt in the Suez Crisis. If this video gets popular enough, I'll actually do a full video on the Suez Canal's 20th century
That would
history,
be exciting.
but for the time being, the canal became a huge source of contention between Egypt and France, Britain, and Israel, multiple times. Regardless, the moral of the story, kids, is that you shouldn't give up on your dreams that easily. I guess. This video was brought to you by CuriosityStream.
Now, here's question number 2. How much do you think it costs a ship to travel through the Suez Canal? I will entertain some estimations, knowing that it will save you. What's your guess? Ethan Bayless, how much? To sail, it's 120 miles from the Mediterranean out to from the Mediterranean to the Red Sea. How much?
Let's say $700,000.
To make one trip through the Suez Canal. Okay.
Is it like a round trip or just two?
No, it's just two.
Why don't they go in and then back it out?
Well,
They have to
go
get
up and
there and
down.
back. They have to get there to do the
I think it's a
spot and
legit
get back
question.
to restock.
John Davenport, what's your guesstimate?
I gotta say probably like 100,000. It's kind of pricey, but tax on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Here we go. We're gonna find out how much it costs.
Lower.
Okay, I already
Plus,
told
what if
them
there's
Mr.
damage?
Holland.
Davenport, I'm gonna ask that you put your little thing away.
What is it?
Put your Chromebook away.
After leaving the
Further
Dardanelles
notice.
and navigating through the Aegean Sea, our transit through the canal to save time and fuel costs. For a price, of course.
Here we go. What is the cost? Ellie Northwest asked, what is the cost? Well, this is my cheap hot oil.
Hello, everyone. So, a lot of you might be wondering, how much does it actually cost for a ship to transit the Suez Canal?
Sam, ask the question.
Well, it depends on many factors like the ship type, gross tonnage, and net tonnage, to name a few. But to have a better idea of the approximate cost, there's a Suez Canal toll calculator, which you can actually find
I think John
online.
already found.
Just Google it, and it's probably the first thing that's going to pop up. Now, of course, the final actual total cost will come from the Suez Canal Authority, but using this calculator, we will be able to get a fairly good estimate, and all we have to do is input the details. So
Here
let's
we go.
input the
Let's see
numbers
what happens.
for a typical bulk carrier and see what the breakdown will be. So we have a ship type bulk carrier, has a draft of, let's say, 12.3 meters. Suez Canal net tonnage, let's put it at 43,000 tons. GRT at 45,000 tons. Of course, let's put laden or as cargo. And let's put it at southbound. As you can see, this is the breakdown of all the fees, and
How much is that?
it has come to a total of about 225,000 US dollars. Whoa.
Wait, but Kate's saying, think they give specials?
Yeah, they do, they get special.
Let's see.
That's a lot of money. But down in the bottom, they also included that there's a 65% full rebate, which amounts
You think it's a mail-in rebate? 65% mail-in rebate?
to almost $124,000. So that would bring down the final estimated cost to around $101,000.
I'll be honest, when I guessed, I did not look yet.
There you go. Well, you
Yeah,
won't
you
look anymore.
I
So
did.
write that down. It costs about $100,000 in toll to get through there. $100,000.
What if we did, like, if you
5
wanted-
ships would be $500,000.
What if
You do the
they're different
multiple.
factors though?
Huh?
You could, what if at the size?
It's
an estimate, Ethan.
Yeah.
Kate.
Then we can't go through every possible scenario. Now, Carolina is wondering, well, what if there wasn't the Suez Canal? How much would it cost you to sail around South Africa? Because that would be the only way to get from one side to the other. How much do you save going through the Suez Canal? Jonah Winkleman, how much would you suppose somebody would save, or would it be more expensive to go through the Suez Canal? Is the only thing you're saving time, and that's where your saving comes from? Is it just because it's quicker? By the way, anything you order from China probably comes through. Either that, or it'd have to go to, it would have to go all the way to, California to come that way. I don't know which way they would go. Anything from Taiwan? From Japan? Wait, Jonah, how much do you save?
Probably.
$1 million. So if you agree with $1 million,
For
then
the fuel?
Wait, are we talking from China to California?
No, to go, so let's say instead of going through the Suez Canal.
you have to go all the way around
Oh.
Africa.
All the way around.
Is it $1 million?
Plus it might get rain. I bet you, right, Sam? It's on you. Nah, it might get
Well, let's see what this guy says.
That is still a lot of money. Now, the ship itself is not actually the one who's going to pay for this.
Oh, wait,
Cargo ships don't carry that kind of arrange for the past to save a lot of money. They would definitely go for it. But how much do they actually save?
all right, that's somebody's cue. You have to repeat this question.
How much do they actually save?
Again, let's use the previous typical bulk carrier as
Yes,
an
let's do
example.
that. Let's figure it
Now,
out.
the cost of hiring or
Look at how many icons he has on his
That's
desk.
a lot.
Don't complain about mine.
chartering a ship will depend on whether it is on
But I do believe I have a big amount of it.
the voyage charter or a time charter. The details are actually quite complex, but if we go down to the daily rate, I'd say bulk carriers are hired at an average of about 8 to 10,000 US dollars per day.
Okay, so what he just said is this. If you are hiring a ship to carry all of your stuff there, which would be that, those big, we say bulk carriers like the Ever, whatever it was, the Ever Wild, whatever, the Wild, whatever. Just for the people on the ship and for the rental of the ship, this is excluding the fuel, it's $8,000 to $10,000 per day to ship, to run one of these big ships. If you were having it transport your stuff, that's not fuel charging, that's not tolls, that's just straight up how much per day it costs.
Other ship types have different rates, of course,
Of
which
course.
actually makes it quite difficult to generalize how much expenses are. But there's one thing that I am very sure of though, and that is the fuel consumption. So let's just see how much savings the Suez Canal Transit will give us based on fuel consumption alone. Now, a ship of this size will typically consume around 30 metric tons of fuel per day, running at
Wait, which begs the difference. What's the difference between a metric ton, John, and a normal ton? What's a normal ton? How much does a normal ton weigh?
2,000.
2,000 pounds? And what's the other, John? John, I'll ask you, how much is a metric ton, John? You think? Anybody?
I think it's 1,000.
Nope.
3,000.
2,200 pounds.
Why?
Because there's 2.1, 2.2 pounds in a kilogram.
Wasn't the,
And there's 1,000 kilograms in a metric ton, so there's 2,200. So it uses 30 times 2,000, it uses 60,000 or 66,000. Wait, that's tons? No, tons. We don't know how many gallons that is.
The speed of 13.5 knots, if laden with
I think it's
cargo.
about 15 miles an hour.
So it's going to cover an average distance of 324 nautical miles per day. Now, let's say the ship is traveling from Istanbul, Turkey, going all the way to Mumbai, India. If the ship passes through the Suez Canal, that would take 3,745 nautical miles plus 120 miles through Suez Canal. Now, running at 13.5 knots, that would take 12.1 days. Now, 12.1 days at 30 tons per day will cost 363 tons of fuel. Now, fuel at the market rate right now is about $320 per ton. So multiply that by 363 tons, you'll get 116,000 US dollars.
Just for fuel.
Just for the fuel.
Just for
Now
fuel.
add the canal fee of 101,000, you'll get a total of 217,000 US dollars if the ship passes through Suez Canal. Now, if the ship doesn't pass through Suez, it will have to go all the way around the African continent. That's going to cover 12,111 miles from Istanbul to Mumbai, and the voyage will take 37.4 days, and will consume 1,122 tons of fuel. Again, at the rate of 320 per ton, that would cost around 359,000 US dollars for fuel. Now, if we compare the cost of both, passing through the Suez Canal will save the ship a total of about 141,000 US dollars for the fuel alone.
And fuel.
So just for argument's sake, and this is just an estimate actually, let's say the charter party agreement hires the ship for a rate of 9,000 US dollars per day. The bulk carrier is usually somewhere around that. So if the ship passes through Suez Canal, the voyage takes 12.1 days, multiplied by 9,000 per day, that's going to amount to 108,000 US dollars, or 109, which gives us a total cost of 326,000 US dollars. Now, if the ship doesn't pass through Suez Canal, the voyage will
We'll get
take
to the end here in a minute, don't worry.
37.4 days. Multiply that by
Is that $1 million
$9,000 per
in
day,
savings?
it will give you 336,000 US dollars. Combine that with the fuel cost, you can take a total of 695,000 US dollars. Now compare that to the cost of passing through the Suez Canal, which was 326,000. You will get a total savings of 369,000 US dollars.
You're a good deal, right? That-
Still pretty close.
You're gonna save $370,000 by going through the Suez Canal. $370,000 in hours and labor and whatever. All right, now, that's not the city, you know, we gotta get to the part where we actually got to the boat. What happened to the boat, you ask? Well, while I was trying to say 370,000, this is what
The
happened.
urgent effort to unplug the Suez Canal, that massive container
Here's the real boat.
stuck blocking traffic in both
Those
directions,
are
causing a
railroad
giant
cars, by the
traffic
way.
jam for ships that move much of the world's goods. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, joins us with the very latest. Good morning, Gio.
Good morning, Gio.
Hey, Robbie, good morning to you. A major development overnight with cautious optimism. We're told this morning that engineers have successfully started to refloat that ship.
This morning, that massive cargo ship blocking the Suez Canal is on the way to freedom. You can hear those horns from the ship in celebration as tugboat reinforcements and high tide allowed crews to partially refloat the 200,000-ton carrier that has been blocking one of the world's busiest shipping channels for almost a full week. It's just a partial victory in the race against time to dislodge that massive maritime bottleneck.
I mean, those are huge machines trying to dig it
The
out.
ship as long as the Empire State Building still has to be pulled straight before it can finally move up the canal. 10 tugboats are on the scene to get the job done. The Suez Canal Authority saying the ship has now been modified 80% from its stuck position, moved more than 300 feet from the shore. For 6 days, the massive Ever Given was stuck in the Suez Canal. The logjam can be seen from space, and it started Tuesday. Strong winds contributing to the vessel shifting sideways and running aground. Its nose wedged in the wall of the Suez Canal, one of the most important trade routes on Earth. This image, taken from a commercial airliner, shows it stuck in that single-lane waterway. With more than 300 stranded ships on either end waiting to get through, billions of dollars of goods are at a standstill. Oil, coffee, furniture, cars, and other consumer goods, even livestock with limited food supply. The effects of this backlog could ripple to the U.S.
As ships back up at each end of the canal, it creates this accordion effect. It could eventually end up in the United States as higher prices and fewer goods on shelves.
The Suez Canal is a critical shortcut between Asia and Europe. Without it, ships would be forced to take a more expensive, more dangerous journey around Africa that could take 12 days or more. The financial losses here already colossal. About 10% of global trade passes through that canal, or about $10 billion every day.
And they are hoping to get those other ships moving today. That's going to take several days, though. They will try to prioritize very likely those ships carrying livestock, because Robin, those animals are running out of food.
I bet, and you know, we know this affects global trade, including right here in the USGS.
Oh, absolutely, Robin. Basically, anything that you're buying in a store or online could be affected by this. And of course, gas prices too, because remember, the Suez Canal is a major channel for oil transport.
Need to keep that in mind. Gio, as always, thank you.
Okay, now, not touch anything, John, here. And
You're talking about John Lichter.
Licht and John Gaffelberg. Now you're here. Here is what you're gonna do. I told you there was gonna be games of skill. I was not kidding. I can find it first. Wait until, let me get this loaded up. I gotta get the right website. We're gonna go, here it is. What it's really like, you are going to be the captain of your own ship through the Suez Canal. Alright? Here's what you have to do. You'll go to this, I'll give a design classroom. You have to scroll down till you get to this little screen right here. Right here. Can you steer a ship through the Suez Canal? You're gonna click on go. I would say we're gonna turn off your sound. Okay? You'll click start. Oh wait. Alright, I'll show you. I'll just show you how the game works. It's pretty simple. Okay? When you click start, sometimes you have to click out of an ad here you can't see. Here's your little ship. You have to make it all the way up here. And the way that you do that is either with your touch screen, you can move these things, or with the little arrows, whatever here. But this is your speed. That's how fast you want to go through the canal. This turns your ship. You go this way, it's going to turn your ship to the right. You go this way, it's going to turn your ship to the left. Now, let me just tell you, if you've ever driven a boat, is it driven a boat? Do you drive a boat? Or flown a plane. It's not like a car. By the way, I'm not going to control it, I'm just going to let it go. It's not like a car where as soon as you turn the steering wheel, it automatically responds by going. A ship or even an airplane, it's like a delayed reaction because it's pushing, the reason you turn is because it's pushing your behind. Cars move their fronts. Cars, ships, and airplanes, the rudders are on the back, so there's like a delayed reaction. So one of the problems is you overcorrect, kind of like my ship is going there, see how I turned it there, I'd have to rudder. If I rudder really hard this time, sorry, I turned the wrong way. If I turn really hard that way, look at it, start to turn, but it's a delayed reaction and it's not instantly, but now I need to start turning out of it because we go too far that way. And I give it my speed, go baby, go baby, go baby, go baby. Let's turn this way, turn. You can't. Okay. So what we're gonna do, you are gonna go, wait. Get to that spot, I can put the thing on there, but you cannot push. There's gonna be a prize for whoever gets through the canal safely the fastest. the fastest there are two skills and a starburst thing over there. You are gonna be the captain of the ship. So you have to go, let me see. It's not there yet, because nobody's listening.
Mr. Hall, do we have to finish the religion?
No, you don't have to finish it. We'll finish that when you come back.
Oh, let's go.
How far did you get?
I'm on Friday.
Yeah.
You need to stop right here when I will say go. So you go down, click on go. Do not click start until I say go. And you can't get anything together for any question yet.
Well, you can technically look it up.
John, you are walking on very, 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 very. You could. Ready, driving the boat through the Suez. You cannot go until I say go. So get to that point where it says, what's it say? It says, this is what you will see on your screen, and then I say go. And if you crash, you may not restart again until I say restart, because people practiced and that was not fair. We will go till somebody wins. It is there, isn't it, Sam? Get to that screen where it says go. Remember, you probably have to turn your sound off. You might have to exit out of an ad because you can't see the bottom of your screen.
If we click go or John.
Okay. It's a game.
You can help them out with that. You may not click.
You
You can't click start. You can click go to the point where you get to the start button. Wait, Sam, where'd you go?
It just takes slow.
What?
Actually, okay, this.
Oh, Elliot's on top. Okay. I went through that one. You're gonna get rid of those ads.
Just like.
Everybody should have that on their screen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not gonna be very.
Everybody's there? This is so nerve-wracking. JL, get them there.
The only thing that I've ever driven ship-wise is like a nice like pontoon. Oh, no, not a pontoon.
It's the first one, it'll say congratulations if you make it all the way, or it'll say collision if you run into the ground.
I'm getting ready.
Is Garrett's not there, John?
It's the ground.
I've been on a
You've been on a plane.
What?
Alright, this is the point
I've
where
been
I've been waiting for. On your
I
mark,
feel like I've been.
get set, sail!
Come on. Wait, where is it? Oh,
Speed is over to the right and then the rudder.
why won't it let me close this?
Don't worry, Kate, nobody will survive. Very few people survive
Wait,
the first try.
I'm so confused.
And by the way, when the wind picks up, things get a little more dicey.
Wait, it didn't show the Mr. I couldn't see the boat.
Oh, go, you can start.
Oh, it's already really hard.
You can start again if you crash in the first 2 seconds.
Okay, there I go.
You may not like go half or a quarter of the way.
Okay, I'm gonna go at speed. Come on. What is this?
Don't play speed up on the.
Yeah, going fast can be a bad idea.
I crashed it.
Oh, I'm actually not crashing now. I'm going full speed.
Yeah.
Where is this?
Oh, I just crashed.
Yeah. That was it. I will let you restart again up until, let's say, 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm going to do this. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait.
These guys are captaining the boat to the.
Oh.
I'll
never be a house person.
Yeah, Mr. Arnold, talking about the
Seriously, I'm gonna end up with Gilligan's Island. Okay, you forgot.
That's
Oh,
easier
you
to
traded.
My name is
That is
Captain
hard.
Young.
Keep going, you can keep
No,
talking.
no, so close.
Yes!
How close
I
is
wanna
it?
try it now.
It's right at the end. Wait, can we try again?
Oh, I got a high winds alert. What?
You just gotta get used to the delay.
Oh, she's
That's not gonna try
Are you
again.
on like full power?
Yeah, you could try
That's
that.
not.
Full power is not.
Mr. Arnold, John.
Garbage.
There you go.
You use the yellow arrow button.
Oh, geez. Oh, I'm not even paying
This is
attention.
your
This is
yellow
it.
power.
Okay.
Turn right.
Hey, keep moving,
Yeah,
garbage.
after a few tries. I
You
did
can't
I did
look
one
like
on the
garbage,
first 3 or 4. So there's your ship down at the
Wait,
bottom.
how far do you go? Oh,
I just clogged the canal.
you clogged the canal?
Okay, finish. Power.
Oh, I see.
Don't go too hard. Overcorrection is the.
Oh, I made it.
I finished it first.
I made it roughly. It said you. It said
Garrett
you-
is the winner.
Hey, well,
I finished it first.
fine, Garrett.
Garrett, you got captain.
Okay, you're really mad.
Garrett, you realize I actually want to race
Garrett is the
I'm
winner.
coaching right now.
I love it. Yeah, Garrett, how did you win first try?
Here,
Because Garrett likes to win.
Garrett
That's
is
why.
the captain. Oh, captain.
Full power, no matter what.
Alright, I'll give the next person.
Oh, it was me.
Yeah.
Full power.
Oh, wait.
That's how I started.
Or should we start all over and race? I think we should start from the very beginning.
No. Garrett, you can start.
Garrett, what's the secret?
There is no
You
secret.
all have to start at the same time, because it's not like.
You just keep telling the screen to move.
Wait,
That's
tell the
the
screen to
secret.
move?
Yeah, you gotta be like yelling at it. You gotta be like, keep moving!
We have to wait till everybody is at the starting point again. We're gonna race again.
Okay, I'm just, my speed all the way.
Wait, you
So
try
that would mean
all the
everybody
way
would have
left.
to crash or get all the way through.
Crash.
Wait, so
The
Garrett,
better
you
part
do
is
full power?
It needs to be a
Oh.
race where you can.
Neither
turn
did
the
I.
speed
Yeah.
way, way up. Wait, is yours? Wait, you can go backwards. I wonder what happened if you went backwards. You went backwards. It's-
Oh, you guys actually can use the keys.
Oh my gosh, you actually can go backwards. Oh. I collided.
Collide.
Yeah. Sorry, that was just the.
We need everybody to crash so we can start from the very beginning.
That
It's gotta be a race.
Everyone's trying to get it.
Strong. You gotta wait till I say go.
Wait, did you go full power? Wait, what if I turn myself all the way around and then went back?
No.
Davenport, are you in the race or no?
And then you.
If you
Alright.
stay on the cliff and try it.
Who's in the race?
No, are we not
There's only one watch up here. You can do this for pride though.
I technically do.
Captain.
I'm still kind of angry about that.
Alright, are we on the race? On your mark?
Turn.
Get set. Go.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, could be trouble. By the way, your touch screens, you can just hold the screen if you wanna. That's what I found most people, to get a little more accurate than holding the finger.
John's like, what do you mean?
Oh, you called the game a liar?
Yes.
I've called him
Garrett, I think you need to challenge yourself with a little more speed.
Yeah, Garrett, what do you mean?
How far, Goss?
The little pointy.
See, the
thing
problem is
outside.
when the strong winds come up, that's what throws it.
Easy.
Show me that.
Easy.
Because it'll push your, oh. Alright, we've got a Hazel winner.
Fast.
That's it, full power, I'm going.
Oh, she did it, she corrected
Mr.
it.
On, I'm good, don't worry. How far do you go?
It's about 10 minutes before the top.
Oh, I got it too. Second place again.
Well, they said last place.
Speed ahead.
Yes.
The first runner up to first.
Wait, I just hit the wall.
How are you people
You are
still doing
weaving
it? It's
here.
not that hard.
I went full power.
I hit the side of.
Oh
something
yeah,
and I
going
said,
full
"Oh."
power down. Actually, I went full power harder.
Wait, what's that?
I just
Yeah.
What's
I
the?
hit the side part actually.
What?
I did like 20. It was towards the end, but like I still hit the side.
Say what I did.
It's the beginning.
You see
it.
it, and then you touch it up there.
And then.
Yeah, I did.
Go.
Oh, I use like this.
Yeah, this is actually.
Here, did you make it twice in a row?
Yeah.
Have you crashed ever?
No.
Well, no, I did. I did.
I was right at the end, like.
I got pretty far that
Sucks,
time.
sucks, Sam.
Hey.
Slow and really annoying
I know.
Oh, wait, did you do it full speed?
I don't know how you
Last
can be
time?
so bad.
Yeah, just flash.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah, that really helps
I
drive a car.
remember.
It does give you some sort of idea how you have to.
Yeah.
I'm just busy trying to even out my boat.
Of course, this is miserable. Well, I mean, it also helps if you've driven like anything, because then you know that when
I think it's helped if you've played a video game before.
I've also done that.
No, it really doesn't. If
See,
I
like,
know
video
how to
games
fly,
Down? Oh, please, don't go. No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You have that for real Halloween.
So, just because I talk about it, I haven't played like in a week and a half.
A week?
No, actually, in like two. You still live, now getting roughly 4% of the.
Wait, Olivia, have you made it once? I'm gonna try.
Accomplished.
I'm just gonna go all the way up. I mean, this would be a crazy person.
I was alert. No, no.
You guys, wait, no, wait, turn yourself all the way around and then go backwards. Come on,
Wind. The wind doesn't even do anything. I don't know what you mean.
Go backwards.
I was going to the entire opposite direction and it's still not.
If you go slow.
I'm on full speed. Sam. I don't know. People suck in a lot of things. It's just his insurance.
Carolina, you did it.
Oh, that's
So guys, when you get to the big like area.
I'm just kidding.
What did you say? Oh, just say it.
Oh, I freaking I can't even.
Hey, why are you so bad?
Ethan.
Oh,
shoot. Wait, actually, I'm gonna go backwards. You can go backwards, but I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna go backwards. Just use your.
Oh, please, I'm about to hit something. Oh my gosh, I'm actually going backwards. Oh, I didn't. No, like, what if you could, like, get into the little, like, nooks and crannies? Like, that's kind of cool.
I'm going backwards, Kate.
Ethan, I already tried to go backwards.
Well, yeah, but you couldn't do it because you brat.
No, I'm trying to.
I went backwards on that.
I'm actually doing it. I'm actually doing it.
Wait, what? Olivia. Oh, it doesn't even show. Look at this. I got into this, like, little nook and cranny.